Someone asked me why any gamer would be opposed to video game preservation, which is a very interesting question, and I think I figured it out. You can understand it by looking into the motive of what they have to gain from a lack of video game preservation. So let's say that you've got a movement, and we're going to call it the Stop Unaliving Game Ownership Initiative, right? So you've got this movement here, and it means that when a game is finished, and let's say this is our game, there is a little bit of extra work that you have to do, such as maybe releasing server binaries or making the game open source, possibly, if possible, and if the company elects to, of course. These are just different possible options that the company has to preserve the game after it has run its course. This little bit of extra work here, you're going to be doing this regardless of how much money you make. If you do just this plus this money, then that is more money per work than if you had done the entire thing plus the preservation efforts. So there's already less money to be made per work that way, but also let's say that you make a sequel to the game. Now you want players to go to this sequel, but if the first game is just as playable as the sequel, then anyone who prefers to stay there will stay there, which means less money. If you want more money for the sequel, you need to make it so that players cannot stick with the first one. So, the reason why you would oppose a movement like this is because you, as a publisher, want to make more money. Even if the developer is opposed to the idea, it is the publisher's say in the end. So let's say that you want to stop a movement like this. How would you do that? Well, let's take a hypothetical channel. Let's call them something like Buccaneer Software, right? So Buccaneer Software is going to look at this initiative, and he's going to be like, how do I spin this so that I can make it look like I'm the victim in this? So he's going to focus on this little bit of extra work here, and he's going to overblow it by saying that, this is way too much, this is unfeasible, and this is unfair to me as a developer because I don't want to spend the rest of my life working on a single game, because he's going to take this little project here, this little extra necessary bit of work, and he's going to pretend that that work is going to continue on to the end of time. Which is, of course, not the case. This is absolutely false, because the company does not need to maintain these binaries, these server binaries. They just need to release them, or if they can't release the entire thing, strip out what they can't, document what was removed, and allow the community to figure out how to replace it. But if you want more money for the sequel, you have to force everyone to move to it. And that is why Buccaneer Software is against video game preservation.